How you doing?
What was your first exposure to Thanksgiving in the States?
This is my first Thanksgiving as a U.S. citizen.
Really?
So yeah, so that's a big thing. I can't remember, but I have been like I've, a lot of I think I played like 5 times on Thanksgiving. So like 3 with Dallas, 2 with Atlanta. So like probably my first thing is that it's football.
What, I mean, like the actual holiday. Like, when was the first time you had a Thanksgiving?
Oh, phew. Dinner. I would say probably not long ago. I'd say probably about 5 years ago. Not that long ago, no. Just always, because when I've been living here, I've always been working in football and kind of it's just hectic. So, yeah. So tomorrow I have one though, so it'll be cool.
A turkey is Christmas in Britain.
It
You
is.
turkey
You're
is
right.
Christmas, right?
It is. It definitely is.
Just on the football, Mike McDonald talked about Byron Murphy, the second level. What are you seeing besides him attacking the ball? What are more reps doing to Byron Murphy's play?
I think it's not just more reps; it's more experience. You know, like as he gets into this, he's getting more confident. He's got some really good vets to watch and understand how you prepare for a week. And the outcome of that I see is that he plays the game freer right now, and it allows him to kind of showcase a lot more of his talents that he has. But he put himself in a box sometimes last year because he tried to do everything. Right now he's kind of out of that, and he's playing a bit free and he's enjoying football. You can see it.
But you're keeping him on pass rush downs more and more now than obviously last year. The numbers say he's playing.
Yeah, he's earned the right to rush, you know, and he does a huge job to allow us to rush because the way he plays the run.
You said there was a meeting where you had everyone in the room that had at least half a sack this year raise their hand, and how many different guys there were. I guess what kind of message were you trying to get across there by doing that?
How important it is to understand how you have to do your job when you rush the passer. Like Mike says it all the time that it's like a 12 as 1 pass rush. Everyone is a rusher. Everyone is a dropper in this defense. And to do that, you have to have, it comes with responsibility, I think. Like you can't go outside. Like pass rushing is a little grey because you follow lines, but you create space. You are attacking somebody, so you have to play off each other. And that understanding of doing that down after down and doing it as a unit, that's kind of what we was talking about.
What was it?
I think it was after the Arizona game at home. Yes.
Back to Byron, the stop he made on 4th and 1, where
Yeah.
he takes on 3 blockers. How difficult? I imagine very difficult. But can you just talk
Yeah,
about it?
I think like it starts with like when we're talking about confidence. If you watch, he was moving on that play, and the intent that you move with, it allowed him to take off another blocker. You know, like the guy pulled, and he hit his guy, and then he created some penetration vertically, and he took off another guy, and then the guy came back down on him, and they just ran into him, and kind of. You talk about like those short yardage situations. For those guys, they have to play in a take a shot mentality whilst doing their job because the line of scrimmage has to move backwards as they're going to get the yardage they need to follow. So when he's moving with that intent and he's moving and understanding what's coming and he's using all the information that's given to him, he can execute like that. And that's what the cool thing is like his talent is through the roof now. If you add the professionalism and the intent behind everything, suddenly you start getting the player that we're seeing.
So you want those guys to kind of take a gamble in some ways?
No, it's not take a gamble. It's understanding that, like CP does a great job of getting these guys ready in short yardage, and it's understanding what your job is and there's certain techniques on how you do things in those situations.
Going back to the number of guys who have a sack or a half sack, is this the widest distribution that you've had on the defense, or is this what you're always trying to get on your defenses that you coach?
No, it's kind of, that's where like I think I like working with Mike is like I'm learning, you know, that I've come from a place where like a high percentage of the sacks come from the front, and They still do here, you know, like, but everyone is involved, everyone is understanding, and like over the last year, I've really kind of changed some of the way I think as well, because it brings the whole defense along with it, and it was cool learning that from Mike.
How rare is that to get everybody to kind of buy into that kind of team-wide philosophy, and everybody's got to, you know?
Yeah, I think that comes from the top. That comes from like the culture that Mike's creating here. I think you're doing everything you can to win the game, and if you can do those things and you see the outcome, then you get more buy-in and more understanding of why we do things and what you're doing, and when you get set up for success, it helps you, and the guys are doing that.
How important is to get the buy-in early in the program, and I mean during the off season, because you're not getting the buy-in in the Arizona game, right? You had that early. Was there anything you guys did to get the players to understand that, or that's just part of the growth mentality, Mike?
That's a good question. Like, I think when you get to that, like, I think Mike does a great job of sharing his vision on a daily basis and understanding where we're going. You know, I think when you start like that, and then on top of that, if you just be yourself every day, and you're the same person, and you're asking the same, and you're pushing people the same way, I feel in this league and in other leagues in football I've coached in, that people want to go in the same direction. They want to come together, and then when you add the connection and the things that are going on here, you've got a chance to all be driving in the same direction, and you feel those things here.
What was your first impression of seeing Quandre Diggs out there today?
Yeah, it was cool. That's the first time I met. I spoke to him when we first got here, and then obviously went to Tennessee. But it was cool to meet him and kind of get him in and build in. I'm excited for him.
What's feasible for him playing? Like, do you think he could get out there Sunday?
I think you've got to get into the system. He's come from a similar system, but I think as he comes, what's feasible for him is that his experience, his understanding of playing championship level defense, his understanding of things doing the right way, and working with the guys and integrating himself will all come.
How did you feel like the Anthony Bell played Sunday?
Yeah, he done a great job. I thought like you talk about those next men up. You've asked me about those things. He came in. I thought he tackled well. I thought he communicated on an elite level. I think he was ready for that opportunity, and he done a great job.
Given all that you guys asked him to do, what's Nicky Morey's learning style like? Like, does he get it like on the board, or does he have to go out there and see it and do it first?
I think he gets it on the board, but when you put it into like practical terms, you'll have to ask him. But like, I feel that the more he walks through things, the more he gets the looks, the more he starts understanding, because he sees the game from a lot of different places. Like, normally one player might see the game from 2 different places. He sees it from multiple, and when he sees the look, he's very good at kind of like, I see the picture, I see what you want me to do, okay, I get it, you know, like, so as you go through it, we're learning each other, I feel.
With the injuries you have there in the back end, can he play some deep safety if you need him?
Yeah, he can play wherever he wants. He does a pretty good job of that.
Sounds like Bell showed you enough, though, that you could keep him and worry what he's been doing and play Bell in the back if we had to play.
Yeah, I think like as the week shakes out, we'll go through that. But I think like D-Bell done a great job. I think all the guys are. That's the exciting thing about these guys is like I think they truly are trying to push and grow to when they get their up, that they've seen other guys like Ty, like Drake, like Mike Moe, Peely, these guys do it, and then okay, like when you get a chance here, you like Job. I think Job's one of the kind of like not poster boys, but he's like done it, you know. And when you see those things, it gives you the mentality is like I need to learn my stuff, because when I get the up, if I do it right, I'm gonna get seen.
I think you guys had like 42 pressures, or depending on the metric you use, but on Sunday, and you still had some sacks, but maybe, I mean, Cam Ward would say like it was really hard to just kind of get down. Was this kind of a matter of he was making a lot of plays at times?
Yeah, I think like I think it's the things we talked about at the start. Like that's where our rush can improve. That getting on the same page in those situations when it gets into like those passing situations, communicating, understand how to play off each other. When there's a big rotation of players, sometimes you're not always in with the same people. So just learning to play off each other. I think converting them into sacks. I would say some of that pressure was off the coverage. The coverage guys done a great job, you know, and allowed the D-line to move them off the spot.
Anything else, guys?
Thanks.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.